on the corner of 25 West Main Street in downtown Vermillion. The spot, Winnie Mae's, is proud to support programming on Coyote News. The spot, Winnie Mae's, providing salon and spa services for men, women, and children.
Coming up on Coyote News, we'll have an update on Monday's dorm room fire.
Plus, updates on the new Health Sciences building. Coyote News starts right now.
Live from the Al Newharth Media Center, this is Coyote News.
Good evening, I'm Delaney Nellis.
And I'm Philip Larson. We'll have that story and more, but first, South Dakota State Department of Health reports 181 new COVID-19 cases and 5 deaths from the last 24 hours. The latest fatalities bring the state's death toll to 1,893. Active cases are slightly rising, while hospitalizations haven't changed. There are 1,993 current infections. Hospitalizations remain at 92 people. Of those, there are 16 patients in intensive care and 8 are on ventilators. Health systems have distributed more than 229,000 doses of the COVID vaccine. Roughly 13% of those eligible in the state have completed the full vaccine series.
Vermillion Fire and EMS were called to Norton Hall Monday afternoon to respond to a report of a small fire. The fire started in a dorm room on the first floor of the building. The sprinkler system was set off and the hall was evacuated as the fire department and UPD arrived. After ensuring all residents were out of the hall, the fire department put out the fire. An official press release from the fire department indicates there were no injuries during the incident. Students were able to return to their halls around 6 that evening. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
House Bill 1217 died in the Senate State Affairs Committee this afternoon. The measure would have banned trans women from participating in women's sports. The move comes to kill the bill after 7 cities across South Dakota hosted marches to protest the proposal. A march was held in Vermillion on Saturday. The bill was moved to the 41st day of the legislature, effectively killing it since the State House session lasts just 40 days.
Charlie's Cupboard has received a gift. Coyote News' Mason Mackey has more on the change happening behind the scenes.
Last year, Charlie's Cupboard started out as just a conversation piece between friends. Then it got the attention of President Gestring, and through United for USD, it received a $20,000 grant to get started. This year's United for USD brought in more.
It turned out to be incredibly successful. We had an anonymous alumni donate a $5,000 unlocking gift, and we're able to get support from 417 people, individual donors, which was 100 more than last year, and raise almost $25,000 to do what I was saying with expanding our services, providing more products for students.
Currently, Charlie's Cupboard provides food and personal items to 300 students during their 6 hours of operation per month. Charlie's Cupboard partners up with Feeding South Dakota, which is the state's largest food bank. Different student organizations and individuals help out by packing items into bags ready to be picked up. There are also bags set aside for emergency situations if Charlie's Cupboard is closed.
There will be a new executive team for Charlie's Cupboard after spring break. The current executive team is mostly seniors who are ready to pass on the torch, with Nathan Pop being the new president of Charlie's Cupboard and 7 other members with him.
Reporting for Coyote News, I'm Mason Mackey.
Thanks, Mason. Charlie's Cupboard is open on the second and third Thursday of every month from 4 to 7 in the evening. The service is located at the Continuing Education Building across from North Complex. Phil, what weather can we expect for the rest of the week heading into spring break?
Well, Delaney, it looks as though some warm, sunny weather is finally headed our way. Right now, it's a sunny 61 degrees outside. Tonight, we'll have a low of 32. Tomorrow should be partly cloudy, bringing a high near 57 degrees and a low of 31. Friday brings a high into the 50s and a low around 35. The partly cloudy skies continue into the weekend. Saturday, there's a high of 60 degrees with a low of 43. And that is all for your Coyote weather. Still to come on Coyote News, USD Theater Department puts a twist on Xanadone.
This is Coyote News.
This year, USD's theater department has had to find new ways to continue entertaining their audience. Coyote News' Rachel Pekosh has details on this week's production.
The USD Theater Department holds annual performances for students, staff, faculty, and members of the community. This year, these performances will be seen in a new way due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
This production is Xanadone, directed by Oliver Mays, who believes it will have a significant impact on its audience.
Is that it brings a lot of love and joy, but this is a piece of activism. It's theater as activism because I want to wake people up and show them that we are deserving of rights and love and all of that jazz.
Typically, USD opens the doors of the Wayne S. Knudsen Theater, welcoming audiences in for their annual productions. This year, the theater department opted for a virtual method that allowed them to film the production to later be live streamed while still following safety guidelines.
You do need to actually purchase a ticket, but the ticket is free. So you go through a process to book your ticket, confirm the performance that you want to watch, and receive that information online, and then you can view the performance at 7:30 or 2 p.m. And we do have a pre-show as well, so you can arrive in our virtual house around 7:15 p.m.
Xanadone is a production that takes place in a world where homosexuality is the norm and heterosexuality is out. May said he hopes the audience will leave the show questioning themselves, but in a good way.
It is also extremely relevant for today because I think that America could use some laughter right now, but also a lesson in empathy. And this show brings you a lesson in empathy purely through the joy and the relationships that you see, but you do learn something from the experience, which I think is important.
Reporting for Coyote News, I'm Rachel Pekosh.
Thanks, Rachel. The performance will be streamed online tomorrow through Sunday.
Looking ahead to spring break, the university anticipates students going home and visiting their families. To limit the spread of COVID-19, students, faculty, and staff can take a free saliva test. Testing is available for the rest of the week in the Muck pit from 9 in the morning to 4 in the evening. Students can also get tested in the resident halls until 9 tonight. After taking the test, participants are offered free yoke gear as well as cookies. For tips regarding staying safe during spring break, visit the COVID-19 section of the USD website. The polls are just closing for this year's SGA election. The lone candidates for SGA president and vice president have been confirmed by the voters. They are Allie Feiner and Katie Brust. The newly elected officials will take office at the next regular SGA meeting.
By the fall of 2022, students can expect a new campus building. As Coyote News' Brianna Oten reports, the building will be across the street from Julian Hall.
USD will begin construction on the new School of Health Sciences building in April of this year. This $22 million addition will be constructed adjacent to the Lee Medical Building in place of the current parking lot. To minimize the impact this will have on the campus and parking, the university has broken construction down into 3 phases, Phase 1A, Phase 1B, and Phase 2, to accommodate those with A and B parking permits. During Phase 2, Brookman Hall will be closed to students to allow for the demolition of both Julian Hall and Julian Addition, where a new parking lot will be constructed. Sandy Wolfswinkel, the Director of Planning and Construction at USD, gave us a little more information about this new building.
So we wanted to do a new building that complemented Lee Med, but also was showing new and like the new, more like the Wellness Center and the Muck or some of those newer buildings. So it's going to be a lot of glass and a little bit of precast on it. The technology is going to be improved for all of these lab spaces so that they can record, and definitely with COVID this year, we're trying to make sure that we are able to do online or distance learning so much easier with this new building.
This building will be the new home for a majority of the health sciences programs, such as nursing, physician's assistant program, dental hygiene, and social work. For more information on parking, you can contact UPD. Reporting for Coyote News, I'm Brianna Uten.
After 71 years on campus, Julian Hall will become a parking lot for health science and medical students. Sierra, I heard we had our first football game of the season.
That's right, Delaney. I'll talk about that win and more when we come back.
The Honors Lounge is my favorite place to study on campus.
The Honors Lounge, located in Old Main, offers 24-hour access. With quiet study space, free printing, study snacks, and computer access. To join, contact the University Honors Program.
This is Coyote News.
This is your Coyote Sports. I'm Sierra Prue. The Coyote football team faced the number 7 ranked Illinois State on Saturday. After 7 turnovers, 3 touchdowns, and 2 successful field goals, the team was able to walk out of Hancock Stadium with a 27-20 victory. A new face led the Coyote offense. Carson Camp made his college debut just a few miles from his high school field. The quarterback made history by being the first true freshman QB at USD to start a season opener and the first to start a game for the Coyotes since 1999. The team left campus this morning for a game against the number 4 ranked North Dakota. Kickoff is tomorrow night at 5. The Coyote track and field teams won 8 Summit League titles at the Indoor Summit League Track and Field Championships in Brookings over the weekend. Sarah Reifenraff won 3 titles and newcomer of the championship for her performance. Reifenraff broke 2 school records en route to winning the 200 and 400 meter races. She also anchored the 4x400 meter relay that won gold. USD swept the pole vault titles with Jen Hirata vaulting a personal best, 14 feet 3 1/4 inches to win the women's title. Ethan Bray won the men's pole vault by clearing 18 feet 5 1/2 inches. 4 Coyotes will be competing in the NCAA Indoor Championships March 11th through the 13th. Bray, Eric Hamer, and Hirata have qualified in the pole vault, and Brighton Senior qualified in the 60-meter hurdles. The men's basketball team attempted to clinch the Summit League regular season title Sunday against North Dakota State. On Senior Day, the Coyotes were led by their lone senior Stanley Amude. Amude dropped a game-high 39 points, including 21 of the team's opening 24. Tassos Comateros had a career-high 22 points, knocking down 5 of 6 three-point attempts on the day. For the opponents, Sam Griesel scored 26 points on 10 of the 15 shooting to lead the Bison to an 89-77 victory. The Coyotes earned the 2 seed and will take on 7th seed Western Illinois on Saturday night at 8:45 in the quarterfinals round of the Summit League tournament. The Coyote women's basketball team ended their regular season with 2 wins at home over the weekend. Head coach Dawn Plitzawhite led the team to an 82-81 victory on Saturday and an 81-61 victory on Sunday. The Yotes were able to set a new Summit League record for consecutive home league wins with 31. They will open this weekend's Summit League tournament ranked 2nd and playing the 7th-seeded Oral Roberts. Coyote volleyball took on rival SDSU and returned home with 2 victories. Sunday, the team played without the Summit League's leader in kills, Elizabeth Junkie. Despite the setback, it took the Yotes 1 set to find their rhythm. After winning the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th set, they claimed victory. Monday, Junkie returned to the court and helped the Yotes in a 3-set victory sweep. This marks the team's 11th straight win. Returning home, South Dakota will host Oral Roberts Saturday and Sunday in the SCSC. Coyote Soccer dropped a pair of games against the Denver Pioneers over the weekend. Friday, USD had 2 shots on goal compared to Denver's 12. Coyote goalie Emma Harkley stopped all but 2 goal shots. Friday's game ended in overtime in favor of the Pioneers, 2-1. Returning to the field on Sunday, neither offense was able to get many shots on goal. After ending the first half scoreless, Denver's Taylor Wells was able to score for the Pioneers, ending the game 1-0 and sending the Coyotes back to Vermillion with a 1-3 record. Women's golf teed off in Phoenix, Arizona yesterday at the GCU Invitational. The Coyote women finished 7th in their 2nd tournament of the season. Coyote men were also able to compete yesterday for the first time in more than 11 months. USD competed in the Southern Invitational in Palm Beach, Florida, and placed 11th with a total score of 304 strokes. That's all for your Coyote sports. Coming up on Coyote News, students tell us their spring break plans.
There is so much more to media and journalism than just those 2 words.
It's really shown me things that I never thought I was capable of doing, and I'm actually not too bad at it.
Even though you think you may want to do one thing, this major exposes you to everything.
The media and journalism department has helped me turn my dream into a reality by putting me in the position to succeed.
PAVE is promoting awareness, victim empowerment, but it's more than that. PAVE is hope, community, inspiring, change, friendship, diverse, USD, understanding, important, dedicated, powerful. PAVE is shattering the silence of sexual violence.
This is Coyote News.
We're going live to the Muck with Coyote News' Caitlin Sterling. Caitlin?
Thanks, Delaney. I'm here with Kevin O'Kelly, who is the leader of the COVID-19 task force here at USD. Thank you so much for being here today, Kevin. So many students and faculty have already had the nasal swab test for COVID-19. Could you tell me how the saliva test is different?
Well, yes, I'd be happy to. The saliva test is different because it's very, very easy. It's non-invasive. You spit into a tube, and we send that tube off for analysis. Now, the reason it's so easy is because you do it yourself, and you don't have to have a nurse take the sample. That helps us because we have a lot of volunteers who aren't nurses who can help you take your sample and send it off to through the mail for analysis.
For sure. So if a student had tested positive, like in the fall for COVID, do you recommend them getting tested before spring break?
So we actually do recommend that you get tested for a couple reasons. One is we're not quite certain about the COVID-19 and the reinfection rate. We think it's very, very low and unlikely, but all data is data. And if you've tested positive before and you test negative, that's good to know. If you tested positive before and you test positive, that's good to know. All information is good. And so we encourage every student to get tested, whether or not they've been sick in the past.
Right. And so are you concerned about students returning from spring break, and how will the university handle students who travel or something?
Sure. No, that's a great question. It's a great question. So we're all very excited about the vaccination program coming through, which South Dakota is absolutely killing it on vaccinations. But we're not there yet. We're not all vaccinated. So we do need to keep on our toes and keep fighting COVID-19 with the tools we have. Now, the tools we have are masks, our physical distancing, but also testing. Now we have a wide availability of testing, which we didn't have in fall semester. So we do want you to get tested now, before you go home, and we want you to get tested when you come back. Testing is a fantastic tool to prevent COVID-19 spread. We didn't have it last semester. We so wish we had it. Now we have it, and we really encourage everybody to get tested before they go home. You don't want to get your family sick at home, and if your family member gets you sick, you don't want to get your community members here sick. So we want you to get tested now, and then again when you get back. Thankfully, the Department of Health very generously provided us with a substantial number of tests that can be taken at no cost to the student or your insurance. The State Department of Health paid for them fully. So please come to the Muck and get tested.
For sure. Well, thank you so much for all that and for your time today, Kevin.
You're welcome.
Live in the Muck for Coyote News, I'm Caitlin Sterling.
Thanks, Caitlin. Saliva testing will be in the Muck Pit tomorrow through Friday from 9 to 4. Spring break is just days away.
In this week's Out and About, we asked students how they will spend their time off.
Here's what they had to say.
The plan right now is I'm going to the hills, to the Black Hills to ski. But if there wasn't a pandemic, I was going to go see my buddy that just moved to LA after graduating from USD last semester.
I do have plans. I'm going to go visit my family in Texas and do some work there. And if there wasn't a pandemic, I would be visiting my grandparents, but I can't because I don't want to hurt them.
I am going to Colorado for spring break with a couple of my friends. We actually were going to drive down, but now we're flying, which is kind of the opposite of what you should do during COVID. But just with a bunch of restrictions and stuff like that, we figured it'd be easier to be kind of get there quicker and come back quicker and not be around as many people, I guess. So that's what we're doing.
I'm going to Colorado for spring break. My buddies and I got a huge cabin, but it's pretty remote, pretty far away from Denver and stuff like that. But I don't know, if there was not a pandemic, I'd probably go to Cabo, somewhere like that with more people. But we're just gonna go hiking and skiing in the mountains and stuff like that. Try to distance ourselves from people.
My plans for spring break right now are just to go home, and if there wasn't a pandemic, I don't know what I would be doing.
I'm just going home to work. It'd probably be the same if there wasn't. I'm going home to spearfish, and then I'm gonna go to Colorado with my friends.
I'm going to Miami, Florida, and nothing would stop that because it's my senior year and I don't care.
I know I am going to be going back to Sioux Falls and celebrating my dad's birthday for spring break. Other than that, I'm just going to be living my best life.
I'm going home to see my sister's new baby. I can't wait to meet you, Isla.
Congrats, Delaney's sister. The USD Barstool Instagram and Twitter accounts are having a poll on which Vermillion bars are the best. The first round of 4 has just ended. Leo's, Varsity, Pub, and Char Bar have advanced to the second round. You can vote for your favorite bar on the USD Barstool social media accounts.
Be sure to pick up this week's issue of the Volant, where you'll find a Summit League tournament preview.
That's all for Coyote News. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat.
And watch and listen for Coyote News daily updates throughout the week on KAOR and the Coyote News social media pages.
Thank you for joining us, and have a great night.